My name's Mike Chown. I'm the Ruminant Technical Consultant Manager for UFAC UK. My role encompasses farm support, as well as development of new products. The main part is really getting the best out of or advice to farm customers using the UFAC supplements. So my role really is bringing the academic role and knowledge down into what I call knowledge transfer, down to a practical level on farm. Hence we're on farm, welly boots, and let the cows tell us what's going on. We're currently at Redgate Dairy Farms, owned by Jonathan and Wendy. I've worked with Jonathan and Wendy now for over 2 years. I was asked to come and look at the unit mainly because of COVID, and there were some issues going on the farm which we'll touch on in a minute. But roughly we run 900 to 1,000 cows. We try and permanently milk about 700 cows in milk. 3 times a day milking here. Target yield is roughly 40 litres of whey per cow per day. We're all year round calving on this unit. We roughly produce here 12,000 litres per cow per day, and we're currently supplying fresh waste milk. My involvement here came about because of COVID and lack of people being able to come to farm and support. I use the cows as a computer. I don't bring the computer to farm to demonstrate anything because the cow is the best computer. What we need to do is learn to actually understand what the cow is telling us. And what we really discovered on this unit here was that certainly in early lactation we had poor rumen fill, poor belly fill, and we were really short of structural fibre in the ration. So that was the first thing that I really wanted to focus on, and in my observations I felt that looking at the transition cows, which is the far off dry group, and then looking at the fresh calf cows, we were obviously losing too much weight in early lactation. The first thing we wanted to look at was actually get the fibre and structural fibre of the ration right. So it was observing, in actual fact, on this unit here we've got 2 or 3 cuts of grass silage, we've got lucerne and we've got maize. So here we've got 4 groups of cows, 3 base rations, and then we intermix the raw materials with the blends and make a TMR. We top up in the parlour over M40 at 0.4 kg per litre as well to look after those 50-60 litre plus cows. But the main thing was getting the fibre base right per group. So once we'd done that and got the cows of the rumen happier, then we could focus on looking at the body weight of the cows, and then looking at the fertility angle of the cows. So once we'd established the base of the TMR diet with all the forages we've got off the farm, tailor-made, a custom-made blend that goes into the mixes, we were comfortable with that. It was then looking at what supplements we could use to actually aid and support the cows. So initially, because we were losing too much weight in early lactation, we've added a very specific fatty acid product called Dynalac, which concentrates on giving genuine energy to the cow, but also has long-chain omega-3s to support the fertility of the cow as well. So that was one of the first things that we actually did here, and we actually replaced the calcium soap with Dynalac on a fresh weight for fresh weight basis. The other thing we needed to bear in mind is the most important animal on the farm was the transition cow, and the egg that's going to be produced and when we're serving the cow is produced in that period. So we added omega-3 supplement, again a long chain omega-3 from marine oil, to support the reproductive system from that stage, and also to boost the immune function. That's one of the other positives of long chain omega-3s. The other thing that we tend to forget is that research really shows the benefit of long chain of omega-3s for dealing with oxidative stress. And when cows are calving, they're under pressure, and in early lactation, oxidative stress is a big thing on cows. So PUFAs, as they're called, polyunsaturated fatty acids, they really help with that, and you need the omega-3s to do that. And the other thing we created here was a separate mix for the fresh calf cows. So we looked at cows immediately calving and up to 60 days in milk. And the one thing there is this is where you get your body weight loss. Too much body weight loss means you get ketosis and we lose intakes. So it's supporting that energy. Now the cows require 70% of their energy from glucogenic. So the real thing is, how do we get that energy in there? So we use a dry glycerine product, and that gives the cow the glucogenic energy. And also what research shows is that actually receiving the glucose from glycerine, in actual fact, cows recover better from ketosis, or if they're in semi-ketotic. So it's really supporting that cow in that critical period until she's eating enough to get back into positive energy. And the other thing we created here was a separate mix for the fresh calve cows. So we looked at cows immediately calving and up to 60 days in milk. And the one thing there is this is where you get your body weight loss. Too much body weight loss means you get ketosis and we lose intakes. So it's supporting that energy. Now the cows require 70% of their energy from glucogenic. So the real thing is, how do we get that energy in there? So we use a dry glycerine product, and that gives the cow the glucogenic energy. And also what research shows is that actually receiving the glucose from glycerine, in actual fact, cows recover better from ketosis, or if they're in semi-ketotic. So it's really supporting that cow in that critical period until she's eating enough to get back into positive energy. The other thing to consider, of course, is how you actually feed the separate groups of cows and give them the right supplement. So it's actually critical that, so the omega-3 supplement goes into the transition cow diet, the glycerine goes into the fresh calf cow diet, and then the Dynalac goes into fresh calf cow early lactation and up until PD positive. And that is all fed into the groups via the TMR. Supplements we actually chose here, it's really looking at sustainability of this farm, but across the whole industry, because the sad fact is most cows do not get 2-3 lactations. The cow is most efficient in her 4th lactation. She's finished growing and everything, and we're losing these animals. So the whole idea and focus is to get these cows back in calf, and if you get another lactation out of a cow, you've actually reduced your heifer requirement by 25%, and that's a massive improvement on a carbon footprint. If we look at sustainability and issues on this particular farm, one of the things here we've been able to do is utilise the buildings to its optimum. So we have split the cows out. We have got far off dry, we've got transition cows, we've now got a fresh calf group, we've then got a high yielding group, and we've got a heifer stroke second lactation group, and then we've got a mid group and a late group. Now that doesn't mean to say we've got separate diets for all of those, because we can use supplements and top-ups from 1 or 2 main diets to keep it simple using the KISS principle, but we have been able to feed the animals to their genetic potential and also to meet their requirements for different stages of their production cycle, and that's what we as a team here are focused on. The other thing from a whole sustainable issue is using all the technology that's available. On this farm we've got the collars, we've got Dairy Pro, you've got all of that management and data, and we need to use and interpret that data. There's no point having it if we don't use it. And I'd encourage all farmers to embrace the technology and data, because we can't get the labour. So again, let the cows tell us what's happening to them with this technology. We're now 2 years down the road on the unit. We still have our challenges, management challenges, etc., which we can touch on in a bit. But from the results to date, we certainly increased the cow health. Cow health is better. We have a lot fewer LDAs. Fertility is very, very good. We've currently got a conception rate of 26%, national average between 13 and 17%. So we've really got a good team here, and we're focused on what we're doing. And certainly as time goes on, because the cows have got better and more healthy, production's increased, but we've also produced more solids, which again is saying the cow is happier.